Hello and welcome back to our life beginnings and always. I don't like that it does that, but that's just the way my recording key is set up. Yeah, I've been missing this. I didn't get to record this for like a week because I was busy with my family and such. Good times though. But we've had some pretty good adventures. I've saved some of my favorite ones. I didn't get as mad at Sandcastle. I don't know. For some reason, when I watched Sorrow's version of that, I got really mad at Shiloh and Cove for being dumb to each other, and they still are. But it makes more sense when I think about neurodivergent folks and how they are, how they be, and such. It makes me less mad. But yeah, most of the ones I've got left are the best ones, like my favorite ones. So I'm excited to do more of these. Let's roll the dice and see what we get. 8. That's barbecue. We do barbecue? We're going barbecuing. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. I keep getting asked about this. It's summer now, right? Everybody does barbecues. A week ago was Memorial Day. Everybody's doing Memorial Day barbecues. And, I keep getting asked about my family doing barbecues and stuff. And it was nice to see my family, my folks. We did a lot of eating out at restaurants and stuff, but not any barbecues. So, let's go do this. You've been brought along to the big park today, which did an excellent job of living up to its title. New place is the big park. We might even use the big park as we might just use this. This is pretty much where the whole event takes place, so it might make sense to make this the background. I like the fire on the thing. They're obviously Team Valor here. There's a lot of Pokestop, a lot of gyms owned by Team Valor, so they just put that on there. If you know, you know. The park near your house with its lonely playground equipment wasn't even a quarter of the size of this expanse in grass and trees that lay before you now. As it was in the next town over, too far for you to walk by yourself, you didn't get to visit it much, and so you soaked up the environment. Later, maybe you go here as an adult? That'd be funny. I don't know, I have parks like, all kinds of parks like this near me, because I live in a big city, so. Another difference between this park and the one in your neighborhood was that this one had visitors other than you, Lizzie, Shiloh, and Cove, but you can't see them because they're invisible. Today it was the busiest you'd ever seen it, thanks to a community get-together, luring people in from all over the local area with the promise of barbecue and fireworks. So yeah, there's Shiloh in this one too, I guess. It's for some reason I forgot he was in so many of the moments of this. But he's like Lizzie's best friend, so it makes sense that they'd bring him everywhere and hang out with him. I forgot that he was in so many of the moments, because it feels like later the guest characters aren't in as many of the moments since Step 2 and stuff. Some of the guest characters you only see in a couple moments. But here Shiloh's in all of them. It's almost like they would have, made a separate Shiloh DLC if they could have, so you could just have separate Shiloh moments. Your family and Coves were just 2 of the many. What seemed like dozens of cars were parked up already when you had arrived. I hate being those people who arrive when there's already dozens of cars there. Man. You saw Cove hesitate as he took in the growing gaggle of strangers. Nova is playing VTube Studio. Okay. I'll probably get 5 of those, because usually when she goes on there, it brings that notification up a bunch of times. By your mommy, Lizzie bounced on the balls of her feet, barely containing her excitement. The crowd made you nervous. You couldn't wait for the fireworks. You know who sponsored the fireworks, am I right, Jim? Robert, I love going to summer barbecues. This sort of thing is really cool. I brought my grilling supplies so I could hang out. I do make a mean cheeseburger. Yeah, then later, we can watch fireworks sponsored by Phantom. Anyway, we're getting off track here, Jim. Let's stop distracting the entertainment already in progress. You looked forward to meeting more kids. You'd rather have stayed home. Your tummy was already rumbling for the food to come. Even if it was bigger, the park wasn't as special as one back home. Nah, brah. You understand Marina Foster here. She likes kids. It was going to be so fun. Mommy had told you that when people running the community event were charging for it, but she wanted them to get something in return. Which is why you'd not been allowed to touch the beautifully iced cupcakes she had carried on her lap during the drive over. It was a special treat for them. So Mommy is kind of the cook and baker and stuff. Every time the car made a turn, she'd clutch the box tight enough for her knuckles to strain, much to everyone's amusement. I get this idea of who these moms are, and I love it. She's the type of person who does this kind of stuff. Mr. Holden's contribution to the party, a huge pack of juice boxes, was tucked under his arm after being retrieved from the car's trunk. You'd bet there had been no such dramatics around that cargo getting here in one piece, but the boxes did lack beautiful shimmer of Mommy's treasured cupcakes.
Okie dokie.
Everyone all set? Okie dokie dokie! Should be. Cove, did you put sunscreen on before we left? Yeah, I always do. You don't have to tell me. Mr. Holden deflated, his attempt at caring for his son rebuffed. He triumphed with a smile. Yeah, I mean, Cove is the kind of kid who would always wear sunscreen, right? Because he's at the beach all the time and stuff.
Good kid.
I don't want you getting burned, or dehydrated either. It'll be a busy day. Well, don't think there's gonna be any risk on that second part. Mom nodded at the tables up ahead, laden with all kinds of food and drinks. She was right, there was plenty to go around. Well, no, hey, the kids could get dehydrated because kids don't ever drink when they do stuff when they're running around playing. Don't you think you're gonna stop and take a break? The parents headed over, with you, Lizzie, and Cove trailing after them. No Shiloh? Oh, we didn't actually bring Shiloh in this one. They just mentioned him in the beginning. Because he's one of the only other kids we know. I see. A bunch of grown-ups were clustered around tables, like steaks on that table. I just noticed that. Like, nothing else but just a couple of hot dogs or steaks or something. Oh, some on that table, too, I guess. I wonder if this is just the same asset as here, just copy-pasted over here. A bunch of grown-ups were clustered around there, chatting, but you were more intrigued by what was on the tables. Some of it was familiar, chilled meat, sliced vegetables, big bags of chips, but there was a lot that you didn't recognize. Ooh, this is our first opportunity to pick our diet, I realized. They give you lots of opportunities to do that in this game, and I'm getting excited about that. Your moms had said you weren't to touch the food until they said it was time to eat. You didn't see any harm taking this level. You wanted to listen to the rules, you didn't want to risk getting caught. So, let's say here. Marina Foster has already gotten in trouble running away from home and sneaking out. She's only been grounded twice this summer, let's say. Let's not risk getting caught, because I don't think she'd be more excited to play than to eat. It'd be bad if you got in trouble before the event had even started. You said that Mommy and Mr. Holden had deposited the food and drink they'd brought. Mommy gave the cupcakes one final worried look before turning to you with a smile. Since that's the topic at hand, how about we freshen up with something to drink? Yeah. That should have been voice acted. Jeez. That'd be great. Just that one yeah from Lizzie could have easily been voice acted. Along with the ones out, there was a giant ice cooler on the ground stuffed full of cans of soda, boxes of juice and milk, as well as bottles of water. Your drink was... I'm 8 years old. If you're giving me the option to not be healthy. The bubbles in the soda tickled your nose as you gulped it down. I'm sorry. Your little group took a break while everyone quenched their thirst. Mr. Holden smacked his lips, pantomiming enjoyment. I mean, when I was a kid, I would never... I mean, we had really good water, and I took it for granted. I like milk a lot, too, though, don't get me wrong, but... soda. Especially if you're at something like this, it's always soda. Not anymore. I only drink water. I love water. That hit the spot, but you kids should go have fun. You can take your stuff with you and join the other kids playing games. Just don't go too far from the tables. We'll be keeping an eye out, so don't think about sneaking off. We're not going to the other parts of the park today. See, she knows what kind of a kid Marina Foster is. Marina is. Lizzie huffed at their comments. They did sound directed at her. But she scanned the surroundings, nodding her head toward a group of kids like a general directing the battalion. She pointed that way. So, Lizzie, though? I'm the bad kid in the family.
Come on!
Let's go over there.
Co's mouth was downturned as he looked from the parents and the other adults to the new kids, clearly not favoring either option. Oh, here we go, a little anxiety Cove Bean. I love him. But ultimately, he hunched his shoulders and tagged along after Lizzie. You wanted to play with the other kids, too. Of course. You followed after Lizzie and Cove who were waiting for you on the outskirts of the group of parents.
Hurry up.
You picked up the pace, moving into a jog, but when Lizzie pelted away at full speed, you and Cove had no choice but to break out into a run. The other kids were far out in the field. Still, at your speed, it wasn't long until you reached them. As you approached, they turned around to greet the newcomers.
Hi.
I'm Lizzie. That's my little sister Marina. The one with the cast is Cove.
Cove simply lifted a hand in greeting. Yo. There was a chorus of hellos and names from the other kids. One of the kids looked to be about Lizzie's age or older. A couple seemed to be about the same age as you and Cove, and there was one tiny little thing with his arms folded over his chest.
What are you up to?
The first kid, a boy with curly black hair and neon green sneakers, who'd introduced himself as Hayden Christensen, shrugged as he looked to the others. Not much. The second kid to pipe up, Lisa, had half her face obscured behind the huge glasses she wore.
We haven't decided yet.
She glanced wistfully over her shoulder. Following her gaze, you saw the spray of water first, and heard the shriek as someone got splashed in the face before you spotted the person shooting them.
Some people are playing with water guns, but there aren't any left.
The smallest kid, Noah, grumbled at that. You guessed that's why he was sulking. Spencer, who hadn't said much, patted his shoulder.
So that's out.
A new kid raced over with a glint in her eye and a braid streaming behind her. You spied the plastic orange pistol in her hand. Too late. When she triggered, all you pressed.
Ah! Rude!
Hey! Lizzie, who'd been caught first, was fuming. Code wiped the water from his face. You rubbed your ear, trying to dislodge the water that had pooled there. So mad! Look at her mad face. So mad! I love Lizzie. I love her sunflower dress that she wears every day because it's her favorite. I mean, Cove probably owns more than one of these kind of shirts and stuff, but Lizzie only owns one of these, and she just loves it every day. It's my headcanon she wears every day. Don't spray people, you laughed. Watch out, he has a cast. You pushed her away. You laughed. It was pretty funny, and you were unhurt by the water trickling down your neck. The girl simply darted off to find more victims, unaffected by your reaction. She doesn't mean anything by it. Lizzie tutted, flicking her hair out of her face. The girl, not meaning anything by it, didn't change the fact that she'd been sprayed. Cove looked similarly unimpressed. Lisa's face lit up as she had an idea.
Hey, we should catch her. She won't be able to spray people if she's running away from everybody. Yeah!
Cove nodded as the other kids murmured their interest, the lack of it in the game. Let's do it! That doesn't sound like a good idea to me. Okay, you nodded along. No thanks, you shook your head. Let's do it! Do it! You joined the group of kids in tearing off after the girl with the pistol. Spotting you all over her shoulder, she laughed and shot her pistol in the air. Only a couple of drops squeezed out. Yeah, when you shoot them up, shoot water pistols up, gravity doesn't work that way, right? You gotta shoot down or kind of straight and down to get the maximum effect. She swerved, causing discord with your team. Oh, as someone stood on your foot and you collided with Cove's shoulder. Oh man, I never really was into water guns and stuff, but we did do that in the summer. Water balloons are way more fun. We'll have some of that later. Whoops. Cove shot you a smile that gave you a feeling of camaraderie. It's okay. You were closing in on the girl, but you weren't alone. Lizzie's face was set with intent, and the two older kids were hot in her heels too. You outran them easily. You outran them with effort. You weren't as fast as them because they were speedy. You weren't as fast as them because you just weren't fast. You moved on to the side to let them pass. You didn't want to win this race. This is Marina. She's a competitive little thing because we're gonna outrun them with effort. You pushed yourself, willing your legs to move just that bit faster. You were close, then you tackled her to the ground. You did it. You get to be the hero here. The girl who had been caught giggled as she got to her feet, brushing strands of grass from her knees. Smiling, Cove came to a stop at your side. See, what did I talk about? Lizzie whooped with delight, clapping her hands. The boy with the bright sneakers grinned. You're it now. Catch us if you can. Yeah! Yeah! I'll do it! You won't get away from me! Wait. Oh, it's that girl. I see. Not. I see. With that, you all dispersed, squealing and laughing as you tried to evade capture. The sour mood from earlier had evaporated entirely, replaced by a light and playful atmosphere. Look at this happy little boy. Several rounds later, when most of the kids had taken at least one turn of it, the scent of smoke wafted to your nose. He's got his... We're not hurting his cast doing this, I guess? Caught by surprise, you looked up and found that the brilliant blue of the sky had turned orange as the sun sank down complete on the horizon. With all the excitement, you'd lost track of time completely. Looking over, you saw people standing over the grills and poking them to life. It was nearly time to eat. Yeah, I've gotta interrupt here again. This is I've been working all day with fresh ingredients that I got from Walmart, You know, the produce section there, you can get some great produce. I've been working on in the meat department to get these burger patties ready so I could make a mean cheeseburger, you know. Jim, this is about childhood entertainment. You should be ashamed of yourself for shilling for Walmart in the middle of all this. Besides, we haven't even got to the main event, Jim. You know what the main event is, don't you? Phantom fireworks. Oh, okay, Robert, let's calm down. The families are about to eat their food, and this is gonna be, you know, delicious cheeseburgers that they're gonna have for lunch. Oh, Jim, we'll get back to it.
We should get over there. I'm so hungry. Our parents are at different spots. Yeah. Bye. It was cool playing.
Yep.
Bye. See you.
You wave goodbye to the other group of kids before hurrying over to your parents with Lizzie and Cove. A tickle unfurled in your throat, growing more persistent as you came closer to the source of the smoke. As the three of you approached the tables, your parents spotted you and came to join you halfway. You tried to greet them, but another cough obstructed your words. Oof, that's quite a cough. Wow, are we getting sick? Are you alright, sweetie? Oh no, are we getting sick? Oh no! I don't want to get sick! You nodded confidently. I'm fine. You shook your head. No, she's vocal. I'm fine. Are you sure? No one needs to go up to the grills if they don't want to. Just let me know what you need. Oh, it's just the smoke. I see. I like the smoke, man. I love the smell of campfire smoke, of grill smoke. I've never cooked at one of these grills before. Someday I want to go to a park and do that. Oh, see, now the meat's on the grill. It's not on the table anymore. Oh, what a nice touch there. This one's still got the meat on the table, but that's, you know, that's kind of interesting. There was no response from the other two kids here. I can get it myself, Mommy. I can do it. You marched over to the grills. Can you get it for me? Please, could you get it for me? You hung your head moving closer to the smoking grills. I think if she's already having this tickle in her throat, I think she's gonna ask him to get it for her. But she will be polite. She'll say please. Of course.
So,
the main thing being served is kebabs. You can have whatever you'd like on it. There's 3 different meats. There's different meats and veggies.
well,
What would you like on yours? Mom is right. There are plenty of options. Chicken, sir! Beef, shrimp. There will be pork, onion, pepper, zucchini, and potatoes. Yeah, I love zucchini. I know I'm saying it dumb. So, here is the question. Are we that kind of a kid? Are we just carnivorous? I think so, right? Shrimp is too weird, though. We want chicken, beef, pork. And now we only have one table, but... and potatoes. And that's everything. Sounds good to me. The veggies will be good for you. Do potatoes count as a veggie, though? They are literally a starch. I mean, they're kind of a veggie, but, you know, we're that kind of a kid, though. We're just gonna do all the meat. Guess what? Guess what? I'm not making this character. The answer is vegetarian. Order given, you waited for your food to be ready. Lizzie headed toward you, having issued her own request. Actually, I'm thinking about, like, it'd be interesting to explore her changing her dietary later in life. But as a kid, you're a kid, right? Veggies are gross. Hi again. I heard what you ordered. I'm getting a chicken kebab with all 3 colors of peppers. Noticing the Cove approach, she turned to him. What are you having?
why?
What does it matter? I don't know, I was just asking. Get beef and shrimp with all the vegetables, except onions. Lizzie hummed while evaluating his response. That's okay, I guess, but chicken is definitely the better one. Then you can eat all the chicken. I'm going to. I'm gonna get some. I want some of the chicken too. All the chicken in the world? All the chicken in the world. Nobody else gets any. Is that so wrong? Chicken is the worst. This is a stupid argument. all the chicken in the world?
No.
That's dumb. You know what I mean. Lizzie peered over the grills where the kebabs were being handed out. A growing assortment of kebabs have collected in your parents' hands. We gotta razz our sister a little bit, right? I like this face. Oh my god. I don't know if I've ever seen this face on her. She has pierced ears too. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, but I think I've probably had... her sprite doesn't change. It's not like I haven't seen that before, but it's cool to note it. I love Lizzie's design too. They're coming over. Don't get jealous of mine when you realize you made the wrong choice, Cove. I didn't make the wrong choice. There isn't a wrong choice. We all made good choices. Same to you, Lizzie. You sighed. We all made good choices. It's just what kebab somebody eats. The person serving gave your mommy one final kebab, then your parents moved over to rejoin you. I've never really ate these as a kid. I might have, but I don't think I would have really been into kebabs as a kid. I've had a few as an adult. I was just at a baseball game and they had berry kebabs that looked really good. I thought that was something, but I didn't have one. I had ice cream instead, but it looked like a real good idea. Between them, they were carrying 6 kebabs, one for each of you, including Cove and Mr. Holt. We've got the goods. Cove's daddy is looking for a place we can sit. In the meantime, they began passing out kebabs to their rightful owners, Lizzie smiling smugly as she received hers. Those are pretty big. Be careful not to drop it. Try not to poke yourselves with the ends either. They're sharper than you might think. Yeah, darn, those sharpened sticks on those things? So, as a kid, this is dangerous. You let them eat the kebabs and then they stab each other with the sticks, right? Hearing that, you tentatively pushed the tip of the skewer against your finger. It felt like the point of a newly sharpened pencil. Though it didn't hurt your hand, you wouldn't want it scraping the roof of your mouth or jabbing your tongue. Mommy clucked her tongue. It would have been nice if the options were a little easier to manage and less messy to eat, especially for smaller kids. Yeah, I agree. So it's weird having a neighborhood picnic and making kebabs. Yeah, you know, I was expecting... I've been out here all day grilling cheeseburgers, and nobody wants to eat them. They're all having those kebabs over there. What's up with that? Oh, Jim, sometimes people just aren't in the mood for cheeseburgers. Robert, it's always time for cheeseburgers. No, Jim, sometimes you gotta have a little buffalo at your barbecue. A little buffalo at your barbecue, Jim. Robert, that doesn't make any sense. Nonsense, Jim. It makes all the sense in the world. Now let's get back to the story. But anyway, what I was saying, when I was a kid, that seems kind of, they should have other options like hot dogs, right? Well, some kids won't even eat kebabs. There aren't even plates for everyone, so we could set the food down for a second.
True.
That's what you get for the price of free, but we can hack it, right? Yeah, I guess. Lizzie nodded her head vigorously, clutching her kebab like a trophy. I like that Mommy is the more, worried and, motherly instinct one, and Mom is the more protective one. Looking at them, I would think it was the other way around. I think I've always meant to say that way, but maybe I've never actually gotten that out. Just looking at the design, I would think that, Lonnie is a surfer and she's more athletic. I would think that she was that, But she's the more motherly, feminine one. I mean, they're both feminine, don't get me wrong, but, classically feminine one, I guess. Your parents led you back to the tables. It was immediately evident why Mr. Holden had been sent to scout one out. The benches had quickly filled up as people got their food. Yeah, when there's limited places to sit, too, that also happens. Mr. Holden was standing over a corner section near the edges of the sitting area. He beckoned your group over to join him. This is such a cozy moment, though, because just this feeling of going on to a big event like this with other families and get to play with their kids. And to be fair, I wasn't really the type to play with other kids. I probably would have sat with the parents and read a book at one of the tables. That's probably what I would have done. I would have had my book with me, probably about animals, and I would have read it and ignored everybody else. And that would have been my day, and talked to, adults and stuff. Or had, an I Spy book or something. But, just the idea of being out there and having this kind of summer event. This is a big deal when you're a kid, especially if you live in a small town and there's not a lot else going on. This is a big deal, man. You clambered onto the bench, taking care not to let your kebab slip from your fingers. Cove took a seat next to you. Lizzie took the other side. Your mom passed the final unclaimed kebab to Mr. Holden. I'm sorry I keep interrupting this, but every summer, my dad's, he'd play on these, city baseball leagues, and every summer they would have a party at the one person's camp towards the end of the summer. And it'd be kind of like this, except it was on a beach.
But they had beach games and all that kind of stuff. They played like volleyball and like horseshoes and stuff. And there was other kids there, and you run around on the beach. And they did grilling like this. And that's what this kind of reminds me of. We never really did this, like going to a park for an event. We also had like summer parks and stuff, like holiday events and stuff. They had things, but yeah, it just kind of gives me that same kind of vibe. It was always like a big, cool, like get together with other families and kids and friends and stuff. Except we knew everybody there, you know. It wasn't like a bunch of strangers like this. But anyway, your mom passed the final unclaimed kebab to Mr. Holden.
Thank you.
Thanks. This looks delicious. His voice is way a higher pitch than I would expect.
Thank you for getting us a space out here.
Everyone tucked into their food. You gobbled it up eagerly, only partially obstructed by the awkwardness of eating from a skewer. Running around with the other kids, it helped you work up an appetite.
Mr. Holden, what do you do?
Well, I do a lot of things.
Do you play golf?
Only if you count mini golf. One look at Lizzie's stricken face confirmed that she did not. She could enjoy the occasional round in a mini golf place, especially if she had an audience to impress, but your sister took her passion very seriously. She's a golfer. Lizzie is a professional golfer. I can get into a whole thing about that, too. I was a golfer as a kid as well. Not when I was her age, but when I was in high school, for sure. Even then, it's been years since I gave it a shot. Cove groaned at the feeble pun. Mom chuckled. You weren't sure if she was responding to the joke, Cove's annoyance, or Lizzie's offense. This face is the face of someone who is done.
Don't worry about it.
Just as well, she'd be dragging you to the green every week.
That's because I've got dedication. You need a good drive or two to get far.
Mr. Holden nodded, clicking his tongue in appreciation. Cove looked from his father to your sister, lost in the conversation. See, Lizzie can throw puns out with the best of them, man. Outclassed in golf and wit. I don't get it. I wouldn't get it either if I didn't live with her. I have to hear this stuff all the time. You should give golf a real try. Maybe I'll even teach you some tricks. Don't try to change my dad to be more like you. Lizzie gave Cove a dirty look at the accusation. Mommy felt the need to move the topic ahead before it got heated.
Oh, nice.
That's really sweet of you, but I'm sure Mr. Holden's busy. He might not have time for another hobby.
Yeah, I don't think I'm made for that. Still, the offer is appreciated.
Why?
And tell me something you really do already. Just go away. You just go away every day.
I like scuba diving, though with the business, that's more work than play these days. Surfing and reading, snorkeling. Water sports. He reads, though. I like that he reads. Yeah, I like Cliff Holden. Man, this is all stuff I like to do. I've never gone surfing, though. Or real scuba diving. I'd love to go real scuba diving someday. Oh my god, would I love to do that. Those are things Cove likes. Wow, it's a good thing you live by a beach. You stay. Wow, it's a good thing you live by the beach. Don't I know it? I have nightmares about moving inland.
No way.
That's not a good joke. The sun had been settling when you got your food. By the time you'd finished, the night had truly fallen. Your sticky fingers were the only remaining evidence of your meal. The kebab had been a great combination, more than the sum of its parts. The seasoning of freedom to choose every ingredient yourself was what made it something to remember. Rising from the table, Mommy held up her water bottle. Okay, now that the food is gone, you've got to wash your hands.
Okay.
Marina, Lizzie, please hold them out.
Lizzie complied, coming over and cupping her hands together in front of her. Mommy splashed some water over her fingers, and Lizzie rubbed them together, working off any residue. I always have and always will be one of those kids who hates, one of those people and kids who hates sticky hands. I have to, or any kind of getting anything on my hands. I have to obsessively clean my hands. So I appreciate this. I would have been the kid, I would have done it myself before the mommy even offered. Here. Mom passed her a paper towel from her purse, and Lizzie used it to dry off her hands. Your turn, Marina. You readily held your hands up to catch the water. Begrudgingly, you have lifted your hands up. You didn't move. I don't need to. But you know what? Marina, however...
Marina, you can't go around with food covering you.
Feeling the weight of both your mom's eyes on you, reluctantly held out your hands and washed them. Nearby, Cove had taken his own course of action, wiping his hands in his pants and leaving a stain where his fingers had been. Mr. Holden shook his head. Classic Cove Holden, am I right?
Let's clean that off, pal. He scrubbed up the fabric with a scrunched up napkin. Dad, it's not that bad. When everyone was cleaned up, or as clean as they could be with the limited facilities, Mom spoke up.
Let's go.
Let's go. Make one last check at the coolers and restock on drinks before the fireworks show. No time. We have to get a good spot. Everywhere's gonna be taken. How about I go ahead to save space again? You can meet up with me in the field after getting the drinks. Then I'm going with Cove's dad. I'll find the perfect place.
Okay.
Sure thing. I could use an extra pair of eyes. Mommy shook her head ruefully at Lizzie's even more enthusiastic than usual attitude.
That's fine.
All right, me, Cliff, and Lizzie can go find a place to sit. Pam, Cove, and Marina, do you want to get the drinks? See, this is the first time they've called him Cliff in my playthrough. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. You nodded. Okay, I'll get all the stuff we need. No, I want to help pick the spot. I don't want to get drinks. You considered your options. I'll get all the stuff we need. As Mommy and Lizzie and Mr. Holden headed off to the wide open field where the fireworks were being set up, you joined Cove and Mom returning to the cooler we picked up the drinks earlier. I mean, our bestie Cove is doing this, and our cool mom, you know. I like them. I want to be like them. I look up. I don't know which mom she looks up to more at this point. I haven't really figured that out. But this makes sense that she would be, you know, pretty compliant. That Lizzie's already over there helping. We don't need, you know, we do like Big Sister Lizzie a lot. We look up to her, but she can go get us a spot. Even as you approached, you suspected you wouldn't find much where it had originally been stocked to the brim. It was now half empty. The ice, which had cushioned the drinks and kept them cool, was largely melted, only a handful of pieces flowing like tiny icebergs. Slim pickings. The drinks that had remained looked to be bottles of plain water, but you caught a glimpse of something more colorful in amongst them. Mom rummaged around the cooler, receiving a couple of juice boxes from the bottom in the process.
Aha.
Marina, Cove, you can take one of those if you want. The perks of helping. You took a jukebox for yourself. You took only water bottles. You took a jukebox to share and a water bottle for yourself. Now, we'll do this. Juice box for older sister Lizzie, right? Cove hesitated but decided to take a jukebox for himself. We would give the juice box to older sister Lizzie because she's so cool and we like her a lot. And I can drink water because it's, you know, it's refreshing. Marina's not too picky. When you were each loaded up with your chosen drink plus an extra half bottle or two for someone else in the group, Mom's phone started to ring. She juggled the water bottles onto the crook of her arm and looked at the collar. It's Mommy. Hold tight while I get this.
How are you?
Hey, hon, how's it going? Did you find our perfect spot already? She nodded along to the call, punctuated by uh-huhs as Mommy gave her directions. Catching her eye, she gestured toward a grassy area. We've got a place. Come on, we'd better hurry before the show starts. You and Cove jogged after your mom, who led you through the field, and the separate groups of people assembled there back to the rest of your family.
Hello.
Hello, we're here, and we come bearing drinks, though there wasn't much left. The three of you handed over the spare drinks. You held up the extra juice box. I brought this for someone.
How
You're
sweet.
so thoughtful, Marina. Despite Mommy replying pretty expectantly, there was just one person who made a claim to the sweet drink. Can I have it? You're who I had in mind, big sister. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. I love you, Marina. See, we're thinking of our big sister, and she would want that juice box. We're a good sibling. Aw. You two are a real pair. See, we like big sister Lizzie. I look up to her. She's my big sister. I want to be like her, man. I want to play golf. I want to be cool like Lizzie. Once everyone had been equipped with a drink for the big event, you sat in the grass beside Cove and waited for the magic to begin. Most people in the park had taken a seat now, with a few stragglers silhouetted in the back of the tables in the distance. A few rambunctious kids were dashing about, but their number was steadily decreasing as their parents called them over and restored order. Someone bearing a cardboard box weaved between the groups, pausing every so often. You nudged Cove and pointed. What are they doing? It looks like they're handing something out. I can't make out what it is.
What a
I hope
pickle.
it's not drinks. What a pickle. Mommy chuckled, but Lizzie and Cove were now watching with the bestower of the mystery goods keenly. Are they gonna come to us too? Mom softly put her hand on top of your sister's shoulders as if she feared Lizzie might bolt over to the stranger. Lizzie didn't even glance at her, eyes locked in the potential prize. I don't know.
In that case,
We'll have to wait and see. You were intrigued. Studying the man with the box closely as he gradually meandered nearer, you could make out what he's handing out, small items to most of the groups he stopped at. They seemed too short to be water bottles, but beyond that it remained a mystery. Then the box man made his way to your group. Evening, I'm handing out dessert. Any takers? There's dessert? Lizzie squealed, hopping up off the ground. The man chuckled. I'm gonna take that as a yes. The ice cream is on the menu, vanilla flavored with a twist of either chocolate or strawberry syrup. Interruption time again! Oh my god. These things. When I was a kid, these things. This is the ultimate nostalgia. I would love to have one of these again. Oh my god, you don't know how badly. When you went to picnics and events and stuff, public events like this is what they got. These must have been cheap and easy to get, but oh my god, these little cups of ice cream with the swirls like this, and you get the little wooden spoon to eat them with. Oh my god! I liked both flavors, but strawberry has always been my favorite ice cream type. Sorry, I had to do that. I don't want to waste too much time, but I love these things.
Nice.
None for me, though, thanks. Same, but the offer's appreciated. I want chocolate. Can I have strawberry? And a strawberry for me, too, please. Now that you're gonna have to make a decision. Chocolate or strawberry? I'm gonna get strawberry. I'm gonna get chocolate. You pulled your mom's shirt and whispered you want strawberry. You pulled my shirt and whispered you don't want either. You were lactose intolerant. You can be lactose intolerant. But I want strawberry. I'm gonna get strawberry because I would have been all about that as a child. Reaching into the box, the man brought out the requested ice creams and tossed them out. It came packaged with a little plastic cup, complete with a wooden spoon stuck in the paper lid. And the spoon, you taste the wood while you're eating the ice cream. Chew on the wooden spoon afterward. The condensation wet your fingers in a pleasant way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kids, are you gonna thank the nice man too? It was a course of thanks. He cordially nodded and walked off. There was another group. The man couldn't spend much time with each group, considering how many he had to get to. You peeled back that tab that covered the ice cream and got right in your unexpected treat. It tasted amazing. Lizzie was definitely enjoying hers. Cove was too. Lizzie munched away happily, but ultimately they didn't succeed in monopolizing her attention. Eyes wide, she looked at her mommy and pulled on her pants.
Please?
I didn't get strawberry. Can I have some of yours, please? Aw, that little dismayed face.
Of course.
Sweetie. Lizzie cooed with excitement as Mommy pressed in at her with a dollop of ice cream and syrup mixture. Licking her lips, Lizzie lapped it up. Mommy, come on now. Lizzie has all the ice cream she needs. She simply laughed and pinched Lizzie's cheek, then dug her spoon in again and held it out to you. I just can't resist. Marina, would you like some of mine? She's already got that flavor. But that's not the same as getting a little extra from your mommy. You accepted the bite. You ate the treat being offered, much to Mom's chagrin and Mommy's delight. Cove watched the exchange silently with a blank expression. Mom, on the other hand, shook her head, a fond smile on her face. Aw, she loves... these women love each other, and it's so cute. I love seeing this side of them, that the writer gets that in there. This moment's not about that, but it... Well, you better at least give me some, too. You could have gotten your own if you wanted ice cream.
What?
The kids have ice cream already, and they're getting some of yours to boot. And I have nothing. Now is when you decide to be firm? Laughing, Mommy fed some ice cream to your sulking mom. She could never actually follow through with being tough.
There.
All better now. Yes. Good. How about you, Cliff? Would you like some? No, I'm still okay, but thanks for keeping me in mind. Cove, it's only fair that you get the choice too. Cove shook his head firmly, concentrating in his own cup. Mommy smiled. Okay, as long as no one's feeling left out. Mommy was always so nice to everyone. You looked over at Cove. He was digging into his ice cream, which bore the same pinkish red twirl as your own. So, I mean, that's the thing, right? These things are very big. She gave her like half a freaking ice cream to kids and her spouse. On some mind, sharing is nice, but you weren't able to do that. But we have the same flavor. Why would Cove? Why would Cove? No. You were gonna keep the rest of your ice cream to yourself, and he already had the same flavor as you. Exactly. Cove doesn't need. If I had chocolate, maybe I'd share the chocolate with Cove, but no. I have strawberry, and Cove has strawberry. We're good. We're good here. All right, now this is the part I gotta interrupt here. We're getting into the meat of the potatoes here, Jim. The meat of the potatoes. Do you see this? Yeah, Robert, you know, these are pretty great. You know, but how do you know they went to Phantom? They could have, you know, this could be from one of those other roadside fireworks stands or things such as, oh, nonsense, Jim. You know, I talked to the people putting on this event, and it's clear based on the quality and the price that they paid for these fireworks that they went to Phantom. They got, you know what they get at Phantom, right? 50% off all fireworks inventory this year. Yeah, you know, that's great, Robert. You know, nothing is great for a summer celebration like good quality fireworks, you know. It really makes me feel patriotic, Robert. Yeah, you can be patriotic all you want, Jim, but it doesn't change the fact that Phantom Fireworks have got the best fireworks. Now, let's not interrupt the action any further. Yeah, well, we'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. You know, don't forget to go subscribe and watch more Robert and Jim content over on Slabs4 channel. Yeah, you got that. It's SLABS4 on YouTube.com. Get yourself over there. Bye. Then the first firework cut through the sky, whistling as it descended until it hits a crescendo with an explosion. The park flashed as if alight. Squealing, Lizzie leapt to her feet, her forgotten ice cream tumbling to the ground as the firework cracked in tiny drops of glitter in the sky. It's starting! Everyone else looked up into the sky as another firework whizzed through the air. With each explosion, Lizzie would jump into the air. Just gonna, yeah. The event was thrilling. It was impossible to tear your eyes from the scene. The loud noises hit your ears, you're covered with your hands. It was kind of neat. You shrunk back, hugging your, It was impossible to tear your eyes from the scene. Cove sat by his dad, captivated by the sky sparkles and flashes overhead. Mr. Holden watched the fireworks scene impassively. He did smile at you and even give a thumbs up when he noticed you looking over. Mommy hopped to her feet, pulling Mom with her, pushing her into joining Lizzie and jumping up in tandem with every crack of a firework. Mommy then bent down to offer you a hand up, too. You decided quietly watching the ground. You got up to join your family. Beckoning for Cove to join. Yes. Cove got to his feet, tailing after you as you stood with your own family. Your mom's faces lit up, literally and metaphorically, as you approached. The five of you shrieked and leapt along with the sparkles in the sky, not trying to contain your joy at experiencing the sights together. We wouldn't leave out our little buddy Cove, our bestie. The fireworks continued, some twisting like the coil of a spring as they arched into the air, others shooting straight from the ground and shattering into a million tiny specks. Every color got its spotlight in the show, from fiery reds to eerie greens and blues that could rival the ocean. The show built up to a grand finale that boomed over the park and filled every inch of the sky in twinkling lights and representing the full spectrum of the rainbow. I mean, this would be a better background right here, right? But I don't know how I would fit the words on here, but we'll see. The exhilaration that had fueled you while the firework was going off sapped dry now that the show was finished. You collapsed into a giggling heap on the ground, suddenly aware of how your legs ached from your exertion. Cove tumbled down with you, his expression gleeful. Mr. Holden watched his son with an expression much happier than the one he had worn while watching the show. Lizzie gave a final whoop of delight and shared a high five with the moms as Mommy shouted for an encore into the night. Is Cliff afraid of... Is he one of those people that's not into fireworks, really? You didn't know what that meant, but you liked the way it made Mom laugh. Well, the sun had gone down not long ago. The air on your bare arms was warm. You took in your giddy family, their spirits buoyed by the firework display, and your new friend and his father, who looked happy in their own quieter way and smiled. This had been a pretty special night. We've done almost all the DLC moments now before we've done the regular moments. But man, I love that one. Just that cozy feeling of having, you know, a party and doing all that stuff. Having a nice event out like that. So we'll see what kind of adventures Marina Foster and her best buddy Cove get up to next time. Thanks for coming along with me. We'll see you next time.